It's playlist time! There's lots you can do in Ring Fit Adventure, especially in regards to conditioning and weight loss, but if you structure things right, you can find different ways to hit different goals using the provided exercises in Ring Fit. An important part of a balanced program is to ensure your muscles and tendons are able to move to the best range of their ability without causing issues or injuries. In other words, flexibility. This will allow us to move better in general, perform a wide array of moves with much less risk of injury, and increase our ability to move with better form and maintain good posture. This can keep our body in balance, as more flexibility means less tightness, aiding against postural problems like rounded shoulders, forward head, and pelvic tilt. Now, as you can see, flexibility is a very important part of our fitness, but it is crucially overlooked, so these playlists should help with that. Now this time I'm doing them in a slightly different format. We're doing beginner, intermediate and advanced playlists, so do whichever you feel is the right level for you and build from there. As always, ensure you warm up before working out. This is especially important with flexibility training, as we need to be stretching our muscles slightly beyond their normal position, which requires the muscle fascia to be warmed up and in a more malleable state. This is in order to increase your range of motion, i.e. the flexibility, so if we're not warmed up properly, we risk unnecessary muscle tearing. So warm up properly, hydrate well, and when you're done, cool down properly. Any exercise undertaken is at your own risk, so see a physician if you're concerned you cannot perform the exercises properly. The beginner playlist. I know you'll have warmed up properly, but I still feel it's important to get the whole body moving and warm before getting our flexibility work started, so there are two early game jogging sections here, Disturbance Meadow and Sportant Waters. Now the muscle fascia is primed for moving, we're going to do 2 sets of 4 moves in a circuit-esque fashion to get our bodies more used to the intense stretchy movements for the immediate and advanced. We start off at Warrior 1 to engage the legs and stretch the calves and quads, as well as activate the hips and the core with the side bend. The overhead lunge twist increases the lunge movement and hits the core and shoulders differently, and you can gradually increase your range of motion through the core twist as well. Warrior 2 pose allows flexibility training through the thighs, stretching adductor and abductors on opposite legs. Breathe steady and puff your chest slightly to get a great range of motion at the shoulders when twisting the arms. We finally do standing forward fold. This will require stretching through the shoulders and hips, so ensure you're bracing your core and keeping your back as neutral for yourself as you can to get the posture for this move as best as possible. And the intermediate. In similar fashion to beginner playlist, we're getting fully warmed up and we go for Disturbance Meadow, followed by the slightly more intense Sport and Highway. Once we're through here, this is where the similarity ends. This is 8 differing moves to help flexibility across the body. We go into Warrior 1 to prime ourselves for the core and leg heavy movements of the overhead lunge twist, overhead bend and hinge pose. Hinge pose is where you may really feel the stretch with the glutes and posterior chain being very active, so breathe steady, keep focus up. We reprise our body with standing twist before going to the standing forward fold. We then end with a duo of Warrior 2 pose and Tree pose. Breathe deep and work through, reaching the furthest parts of your range of motion. The tree pose will feel slightly relaxing, but it will also require a good amount of strength in the balancing leg to perform correctly. If you're struggling, pop one foot down to catch your breath, and then rebalance for the next rep. This balance training will help with flexibility moves in the advanced playlist. And this is the advanced playlist. We start with the same jogging areas as intermediate to get the muscle fascia all ready, and then we go into 3 core heavy exercises with a focus on the legs and hips: revolved crescent lunge pose, Warrior 3, and hinge pose. Ensure to keep your back as neutral for you as you can, with no additional flexing mid-back, and breathe steadily throughout, especially on hinge pose. Warrior 3 will really push your hips flexibility, as well as your range through your lats and shoulders to hold the pose. If you struggle, put your feet down, rest a tick, and then get back to it. We have a slight breather with standing twist, which gets additional work on the core and the shoulders to prime ourselves for standing forward fold. Then we get onto the floor fan pose, really working that flexibility. The finishers are the same for intermediate, Warrior 2 pose and Tree pose. Focus on breathing and really stretch as far as you can without losing your form on these ones. Now, I cannot stress enough, ensure you are already warmed up, as I don't want anyone tearing muscle or straining a ligament here, but as there are 3 playlists to increase flexibility. Now, normal static stretching after your workout is going to have a large effect here as well, and it is important to stretch to help your flexibility and range of motion after workouts either way. I'm going to get a video prepared soon with some basic upper and lower body stretches to help with this as well. I do want to add as well that I've set the reps on each exercise to certain ones. You can regress and progress these as much as you want or need for yourself and your own ability, which gives you a little bit more freedom with these playlists, okay? So if you've got any questions, let me know, and also I'd love to hear about your favourite stretch. What is it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's been very informative. Please like and subscribe to the channel to support me and to see more Ring Fit Adventure workout videos. I've got plenty more topics and guides incoming. Thanks again. See you soon.